This is a set of Dragon wheels by Powell, and this is a set of soft sliders by Spitfire. The Dragon wheels were released in spring of 2023, and the soft sliders were released a year later in the spring of 2024. Since then, there has been a tremendous amount of hype and enthusiasm for both of these wheels. Both of these wheels would fall into the category of what some people might call a hybrid wheel that slides like a hard wheel, but can cruise over rougher terrain like a soft wheel. Typically, you would have to choose one or the other. You'd have to choose a hard wheel that's really good on smooth ground, and if you wanted to skate really rough ground, you needed a softer wheel. Well, these wheels kind of promise to do both. These are the 50mm Dragons. The soft sliders that I have, these are 52mm, so a little bit bigger, not gonna make a huge difference when we test these out. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a board with the Dragons and another board with the soft sliders, and then I'll have a third board with some 101 wheels as the control group, and I'm going to skate the 3 decks, and I'm going to do different tricks and test out how each complete with the varying wheels performs. Hey Noe, which ones do you think are going to be better? The POWELL Dragon wheels or the Spitfire soft sliders? Which ones are going to be faster? Well, which ones are going to slide better? Once again, here's the board lineup. We got 101s, POWELL Dragons, Spitfire soft sliders, and some OJ cruisers. And the first spot is going to be just some slightly downhill asphalt. For a reference on how wheels should power slide, I'm going to do a power slide on the setup with the 101s first. That was a power slide on the 101 Spitfires. Next, I'm going to try to do a power slide on the OJ Cruisers. These are the 87 Drometer. They look like this. These are not supposed to power slide. I don't expect them to right now, but we're just going to do this to see what happens. As you can see, soft wheels do not power slide. Next up are going to be the POWELL Dragon wheels. That wasn't a very good slide, but I don't know if I gave it my all. I'm going to try again. So these wheels are definitely quieter, and I think I'm experiencing a little bit of a mental block because in my head I'm thinking that these are not going to slide, so I'm not fully leaning into it. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but as you can see, they did slide. So next up are going to be the Spitfire soft sliders. Those slid way more. One more time. That last one was with the Spitfire soft sliders. As you can see, that was by far a longer slide. First one really caught me off guard with how slick it was. I'm gonna do that same thing one more time, just with the POWELLs and the Spitfires, just one after each other. Next, I'm gonna do a quick rebound test. That was the 101s. With the 87s. Next are the Dragons. And lastly are the Spitfires. Pretty similar. I'm losing light fast, so don't have a whole lot more time today, but last thing I wanted to do was just a simple sound test. First is with the 101s. This time with the Dragons. Next are the Spitfire soft sliders. And finally with the OJ Cruisers. That was just a quick first impression of those two sets of wheels, the Spitfire soft sliders and the POWELL Dragon wheels. I would say, just based on that quick little test, that the Spitfires slide a little bit better and the POWELL Dragon wheels are a little bit quieter. No, baby, no, come on. We're trying to talk about the skateboards and the wheels. Hold on, Noah, wait. Oh! Ow! Baby, hold on. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Here, look at the camera. Okay, I have to do this intro really quick because not only is my son wanting to throw the boards everywhere, but believe it or not, there's actually someone playing bagpipes in the park, which is pretty cool, but incredibly loud. I'm at the Glendora skate park, which has really rough ground. Go, baby, go. Has really rough ground, so I thought it'd be a good test to put these wheels to. I brought, Noah threw it down, but I have my board with the hard wheels. I have my board with the dragons. I have my board with the soft sliders. And I also have my board with the cruisers. I'm gonna do a couple tricks on all 4 of them and show the differences. All right, baby, let's go. Noe! One-on-ones, POWELL Dragons, Spitfire Soft Sliders. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to try to do the trash can on the cruisers. Those worked too. When it comes to the power side test, the Spitfires had a bit of an advantage, the soft sliders that is, whereas the POWELL Dragons were a little bit grippier. I'm at my favorite curb spot and I got warmed up and that happened. Gotta wait this thing out. Hopefully they move soon. Thank God the car moved. Okay, I'm gonna do a bunch of nose slides on the skateboard with 101s and then a bunch of nose slides on the skateboard with dragon wheels, and then a bunch of nose slides on the skateboard with the Spitfire soft sliders. Those are worth the 101 wheels. You gotta be kidding me. The sprinklers is turned on. It's the next morning. I got to the local skate park at 6:30 a.m. with the intention of doing a couple blunt slides and feebles and crooked grinds. And I got to the park and the sprinklers were on and half the park was flooded. So I resorted to just doing a bunch of tail slides on this quarter pipe. Hopefully those tail slides and reverts and nose stall reverts kind of show what these wheels are capable of and how they function and perform. What I did not expect was how well the Spitfire's soft sliders slid on this quarter pipe. It's hard to believe, but I feel like the soft sliders slide better than the 101s. It could have something to do with the fact that this is a really, really old skate park and this is really rough cement. Might not be able to tell from the video, but this is pretty much a street spot. So a good test on these wheels is how they feeble grind, because on a feeble, especially on a square rail, there's a lot of the wheel touching and the wheel has to kind of squeak by. That one was kind of sketchy. I'm going to do that one again. Next up is the feeble with the Dragons. With the Spitfire soft sliders. Okay, I just did a feeble on some wheels with 101s, the Spitfire 101s, the 93 POWELL Dragon wheels, and the 93 Spitfire soft sliders. And I think if I was blindfolded and I was able to do a feeble grind blindfolded somehow, I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference on that specific trick. They all feeble grinded really good. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I can have you here in the parking lot.
I'm sorry, I actually thought their school hadn't started yet.
Yeah. So
I'll leave.
we have kids right now.
I understand.
Thank
Say
you
no
so
more, I'll
much.
leave. I thought school had not started yet, then I realized some cars started pulling up.
Yeah.
I'll take off. Have a nice day.
You too.
When in doubt, more wax. For the sake of time, we're just going to accept that one. On this really sticky curb that had to put a lot of wax on, the Spitfire soft sliders and the POWELL Dragon wheels slid better than the 101s. In terms of doing blunt slides, I couldn't tell any noticeable difference between the Dragons and the soft sliders. Once I got this curb going, after a bit of wax, they were both sliding equally well. You can see on the curb all the blunt slide marks. And then these are actually the back wheels where the blunt slide was happening. No sign of wear or flat spot or anything really. They still look brand new almost. This asphalt is significantly rougher, so I'm going to try to do some power slides. First on the Dragons, next on the soft sliders. This curb is super close to my house, but I don't skate it very often because of how bad the ground is. Not only did the Spitfire soft sliders and the POWELL Dragons slide better on the Slappy curb, they made rolling on this asphalt a lot more enjoyable. skated the POWELL Dragon wheels and the SPITFIRE soft sliders for about a week, which I think is a good enough time to do just a test on how these wheels perform. It's not long enough to determine anything about their durability. I do intend on keeping both of these setups set up and in my trunk for a bit, and I'll just try to skate both of them as equally as possible. And then maybe in a month or two I can check in and do another video about the durability and how they're wearing down. I did as many tail slides and blunt slides and power slides and as many things I could think of to show how these wheels perform. And I thought that at the end of this I would have a clear winner or a clear favorite. And I don't. I thought the POWELL Dragon wheels and the SPITFIRE soft sliders were both very cool wheels for what they do, and I didn't really see anything that would make me favor one or the other too much. A big con for me is that they just don't sound like a hard wheel, and that's not anything that you couldn't get used to. It was very strange. If you've been skating for 20-something years and you know how skateboard wheels sound, and then you jump on the POWELLs or the SPITFIREs, they just sound different. It sounds like you're not going as fast, and it also sounds like you're not going to slide when you expect to. In terms of slideability, I did see a slight advantage to the SPITFIREs, not in every instance, but on smoother ground it seemed that the SPITFIREs did slide better. When I did the power slide test, I felt like the POWELL Dragon wheels were a little grippier. They still slid, but not as much. But when it came to doing Noseslides and 50/50s and tail slides on skate park ledges, I feel like they slid pretty equally. I didn't notice any difference when it came to doing flat ground, like just ollies and just the pop feel. I didn't really see any difference between the two. One thing that I was surprised by was that there were a few instances where both of these wheels slid better than the 101s. I think it was when I was doing the tail slide reverts at the skate park, and then also the blunt slides on the curb. Both of these wheels slid better than the 101s, which was very interesting. If I had a gun to my head and I had to choose which one, I would choose the SPITFIREs only because they're a little bit louder. It's not anything you couldn't get used to with the POWELL Dragons. They honestly sound kind of cool. It's just they sound a lot different. I think they're both good wheels for what they do. Again, I am going to keep skating both of them, and maybe I'll do another video in a couple months. One more thing. Will these wheels ever replace my 99s or 101s? The answer is no. I could see myself always having a spare setup in my trunk with either these or these wheels, but I don't think I could ever make these wheels my go-to setup. It's just too different of a sound, but that doesn't mean that they can't be right for you. I have two buddies who actually skate the Dragon wheels. One guy pretty much only skates the slickest skate park around, and he loves the Dragon wheels for that skate park. And my other buddy skates a really, really crappy asphalt driveway in front of his house, and he skates the Dragon wheels. And so that just goes to show that two applications for the same product are both valid. Thanks for watching.